mom, we have a lot of moms sharing secrets they're dying to confess. Secrets they wouldn't even tell their best friends. All right, let's watch.
I lied to my husband about using birth control. When we first found love, I imagined our future filled with boisterous holidays and family vacations and lots of love to go around. Unfortunately, my husband thought one child, or none, was just fine. He knows I have a prescription for birth control pills, but every morning I flush one down the toilet. I'm pregnant for the 3rd time. I wonder if he's starting to catch on.
Dumb as a stump.
He's
dumb. He's dumb as a stump. He's dumb.
Let's blame him. He's a dumb guy.
The husband needs to go snip, snip.
Yeah.
This is useless.
Again, it's the husband that has to do something. That's the final word. You heard it from me. We're done.
He alleged that in the course of oral sex, she retained the semen in her mouth and then excused herself, deposited it in a vial, and then used it to self-inseminate and had a baby and then sued him for paternity.
The dangers of dating.
After a short period of time, and you've put this frankly in your application to me, you decided to do something, did you not?
I did, Judge, yes. I stopped taking the pill because I wanted to become a mum and wanted to have a baby with Stuart.
Had you had a discussion with Stuart about it?
No, Judge, we hadn't had a discussion.
Before that, as far as you were aware, Stuart, were you and Michelle using protection?
She told me she was on the pill.
And in fact, you did make that representation to him?
Yes.
And without telling him, you came off your contraception and you decided to have a child?
I did, Judge. When I got pregnant with Stephen, he wasn't happy at all. A few days later, Stuart gave me an ultimatum, either have an abortion with Stephen or he will leave me. So I chose the baby. Obviously, I didn't know it was Stephen at the time, but I chose the baby over Stuart.
Did you make that ultimatum?
I don't remember saying that at all, no.
I don't believe so. Try again. Could you have said it?
No.
You didn't say it. In other words, Michelle has just invented it while standing there in front of me. She's come up with a little story. Yes or no?
Yes.
Made it up. What else happened, Michelle, that you want to make up?
Oh, well, 6 months. I was probably pregnant about 6 months with Stephen, and that's the first time Stuart decided to push me.
Did you put your hands upon her?
No.
Whilst she was pregnant?
No.
More than once.
The case of a baffled boyfriend in New York City who turned to the internet for advice after making a shocking discovery after sex. Check this out. What's the worst thing you could discover just after having a girlfriend? How about the fact that she's a sperm bandit? A shocked boyfriend recently revealed online that after his post-coital bliss, he found something amiss. He wrote, "I came back into the bedroom and found her pouring the contents of my used condom into her. I tried to get her to stop by pulling the condom away from her, but she started screaming bloody murder and is this legal at all? What happens if she gets pregnant?"
Judge Mary, your verdict. He's responsible. Gentlemen, anytime those little swimmers get out, you're responsible. Yeah. So because she got pregnant, or she made herself pregnant, really, he consented when they had sex. He produced the sperm. He's responsible to pay support. That was entrapment.
You can go all the way to the Supreme Court and you will lose. Courts have ruled, there's precedent on this, that if a girl steals sperm, like in this, we saw on this social media post, and uses it to impregnate herself, courts have ruled, not just one but multiple, that you can still be responsible for child support.
There is a court that sperm is a gift. There is a court that says that. And in 1993 out in Kansas, there was another case where, unfortunately, a 16-year-old woman had sex with a 12-year-old and got pregnant.
Well, a 16-year-old's not a woman. It's still a minor at 16.
Well, I'm sorry, you're right, but she got him pregnant at the age of 12, and that 12-year-old is responsible as well.
Watch it go down. Hands if you don't want to be responsible.
I agree with you.
Keep it hands.
You want to play, you pay.
You play to pay.
Absolutely.
Tonight, Local 2 investigates how a Houston fertility clinic could make a man a father of twins, and he says all of this happened without his permission.
So now the father has filed an unusual lawsuit saying that his girlfriend took sperm samples from their bedroom, and he never knew that she was using those samples to become pregnant after they'd broken up. Local 2 investigator Stephen Dean digs into how this happened.
A 36-year-old telecommunications manager, Joe Pressel, says he never thought of having a family, and his religion would never allow him to go to a fertility clinic. So how could his girlfriend become pregnant with his sperm at this clinic on the Katy Freeway 3 months after they broke up?
Well, I couldn't believe that this fertility clinic would actually do this without my consent, without me even being there.
Pressel is suing Advanced Fertility Center, saying his girlfriend was bringing them his semen behind his back so her egg could be fertilized in vitro, a medical procedure that resulted in twin boys being born. Now he has to pay to raise them.
She would always take, the condom, and she would, run off out of the room, and I just didn't think anything of it. And I didn't think that anyone could use a condom and bring it to a clinic to get an in vitro.
For a man, it's very terrifying, particularly if you're not planning to have a family. Any woman, I guess, could go and do this if they're in a relationship.
Attorney Jason Gibson says the girlfriend went to court and won child support after blood tests proved the twins really do belong to Pressel.
About stealing your partner's sperm so that you could get pregnant. Last week, journalist Liz Jones caused a bit of a stir when she admitted that she had stolen sperm from 2 boyfriends in an attempt to have a baby.
Well, I guess like many women who'd had a career, I was a bit desperate. I also, slightly at the back of my mind, felt that if I had a child, my partner was more likely to stick around. I think that's a mistake that many women make. I thought it might be just something to do. I might get a year off maternity leave. I might get the man to hang around.
So, sorry, you're being a mum to get maternity leave and to get a man to hang around?
Women have lots of different reasons for having babies. Some of them may be vanity, some of them may be they feel they might be missing their chance, it gives them something to love.
So not only was your reasons for having a baby interesting, to say the least, but you were picking a man who wasn't even suitable.
But I think when a woman gets to the end of her reproductive lifespan, which I was, and when I got married I was in my 40s, you do get desperate. And it's who you happen to be with. Maybe ready in 2 years'
If you
time.
had fallen pregnant, would you have told him the truth? Would you have said, "Oh, well, that was an accident. How did that happen?"
No, I don't think I would, and I would have just said I didn't do it deliberately. Oh dear, what should we do about it?
You'd have lied. You'd have lied.
Well,
as well.
lots of women I spoke to for this feature, they said, "Well, of course I didn't tell him. Of course I,
Thieves and liars."
Till it's cool, just cool, into the mouth. Nice.
You should explain, before we go any further, how you actually did this. Because
Okay,
he insisted, and very sensibly insisted on using a condom. Then you took that used condom when he didn't realise, and strange thing to lose sight of. But you then took that and used its contents in your bathroom to inseminate yourself. Do you expect him then, having had that?
Yeah,
that
my
baby
warning,
had
you
worked,
see, is for young women are warned all the time. Be in control of your own body. Yeah. You have rights over your own body. The point of my piece was to warn young men who might be a bit too naive and trusting.
Well, they're sure not going to be naive now, though, are
well,
they?
that's better,
Which is
because
good.
then you're having fewer children who are going to be with parents who don't stay together.
Are you breeding suspicion then between couples? I mean,
well,
that's a really...
men should be suspicious
relationships
of
are hard, but...
I am writing the piece to get men to be more aware, especially I wrote in the piece, if you're a mum with a teenage son, say to him, protect yourself. I know lots of women who do this. If I know lots of women, there must be lots of women who do this.
You've been very honest to say that you did it in the first place.
I spoke to a woman who had her fertility chart in a drawer. She was working out when she was ovulating to have sex, didn't tell him that. I know a woman who did that, and she's chased for many years her ex through the CSA.
Does she know that?
He doesn't know that
he doesn't
she
know this is how she
manipulated
did
him.
it.
No. So she has chased him for financial support.
There were some guys here who had their say. One man says the whole thing was devastating when it happened to him. He recalls our relationship had been fun but casual. The woman I had dated for a few weeks, and then she was moving to Australia for a few months, which seemed to make a natural end to things. We certainly never talked about a long-term future. So when she called with the news of her pregnancy, that was shocking enough. But the confession that she made left me doubly stunned. My gut reaction, was to have nothing more to do with her, he says.
Yeah, see, so much is spoken about women's rights. I think really my piece was not to say what I did was a good idea. It was to warn men that women are much more manipulative than they might think.
There'll be a lot of guys watching this now who'll think...